Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to the Act 3 podcast. This is Trip speaking right now. I'm here with Chris today, and we're going to be talking about the Daredevil Born Again Season 2 finale titled The Southern Cross. So, let's get into it. What do we think
Yeah,
about it?
so Drew's not here. Drew actually died, and this time it's because we killed him for not finishing Daredevil,
Oh,
unfortunately.
yeah, because he watched a bunch of anime instead of watching Daredevil. So we tied his foot to the back of my truck, and whenever I drove up here from College Station, he just got lost along the
Yeah,
way.
Trip lives with me now for the next couple months. He's in the next room right there.
Yeah.
All right, to Daredevil. So yeah, general thoughts. I'll go first. Fire, obviously. The Fisk hallway scene is a standout for the entire Daredevil series, I would say, action-wise. And the big reveal, the main thing is Matt revealing his identity, which I think was a natural buildup. I think that was definitely going to happen, and it works really well for his character. Him doing that for Karen, basically, all of it just to save her, and the ending was really good. And it definitely felt like I hadn't. It felt a lot like the OG season 3 ending, where it actually felt like final, because Born Again season 1 was just set up for season 2, specifically the ending, and it kind of already works as one season, but it felt refreshing to have like a Daredevil climax. Pause, because I hadn't experienced a Daredevil climax
In season 2.
since season 3 of the old show, and it definitely felt a lot like that in good ways. And you get a lot of reflections
Yes.
in that, basically with the final confrontation with Matt and Fisk, where they're referencing that deal and referencing the first conversation they have in the diner. And yeah, fire ending to a series that is basically kind of in my head. And we'll talk about this more in the review video, just overall for the season. But it feels like it's been one story. Like the last year of Daredevil has kind of been one
Yeah.
thing, which, and since the series is basically half the length as the old one, and it kind of feels like one season, so it felt like a definitely deserved climax. And I love that it is a legacy sequel. It's a new team, but since Charlie and Vincent are so invested in the characters, they can basically help write the characters just as well as the old show. And it felt like a natural progression of their interactions being like the same people that they were 10 years ago in the Netflix season. And yeah, very French Revolution-y, just the whole thing just burning down. Very satisfying, obviously. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the episode was really good. Just a great way to climax the end of the season. I was really wondering like what they were gonna do because it did kind of sneak up on it. Like not really, it didn't really sneak up on us, but like when you're watching the show in release order, it's probably gonna sneak up on you. Um, but or like in release order, as in
Watching it
like
weekly.
as it's releasing, yeah.
Mhm.
So it did kind of sneak up on me, and I realized, oh shoot, this is the final episode, and I was like, I wonder how like. For one, like we haven't seen Punisher the entire season, and we got that tease at the end of last season. Wondered if we were going to get anything. I'm happy we didn't. I'm happy we didn't get any major cameos outside of the Daredevil universe itself and the Defenders universe. Um, just a great way to end the season is by not adding in any BS at the end. It's always good. Lots of like, I think the last episode really is a great example in Daredevil, where like the Netflix season was really good with like realism. I feel like, and the Born Again is taking that, but also putting it into the MCU perfectly by also applying like certain situations that are like comic, like something you'd see in a comic, something you'd see in a realistic comic rather than just a realistic TV show. Um, for example, like whenever they bring the witness in and it's Fisk, like that's very comic book. And the way he comes in, very comic book, and I think it's done really well. I think yeah, like that's just a great example. It's very comic book for Fist the ending, I guess spoiler alert for Fisk to cutting that out.
The island.
for for Fisk to get off scot free. It's very comic booky, but it's very in line with Fisk's character, and it's just kind of cool that we get to see that beautiful comic frame, that comic panel, at the end. As they've done such a better job. Well, I don't know about such a better job. Like first season did it pretty well, but this season really takes the aspect of applying comic book to a realistic TV show and really like runs with it and like does really well. With the way they pay such good like odes to the comics in terms of like in Requiem whenever yeah, but in the finale it's done really well. Just hinting at like different comic frames. Also, the visualization of the Fringe Revolution, like you're talking about, where Fisk is coming, the Mayor Kingpin is coming down the stairs at the top of the stairwell, and you got everyone who's revolting against him at the bottom, and they start rushing up. That's like classic French Revolution, King Louis, Marie Antoinette. Like that's beautiful, and it was amazing. And yeah, just such a good way to wrap up the season. Yeah, such a good episode. I really thought they did well at first, and this is how it has been for a few episodes. But at first, I was like, I'm not really feeling finale vibe. Like I feel like we're about to run out of time, and I'm gonna feel like it's unfinished. I was like, if y'all leave me on the cliffhanger, I'm gonna be pissed, and they didn't. But yeah, like it really does the thing where it kind of like sets up. It does a lot of exposition, and then the last 10 minutes doesn't feel like, or like last however many minutes doesn't really feel like rushed or anything. It just flows well, and they wrap it up well, and that's really how they did. And it's also a long episode.
The pacing was amazing. Like it almost felt like a mini movie. Like it really had like the beginning, the courtroom, and then the fight, and then a really good falling action and ending for where all of our characters end off.
Yeah.
It was great.
Definitely very well paced.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this in comparison to season 3 last night because the scale is way bigger. In season 3, it's Fisk is going to prison because he's a gangster and he almost got free, but he only had like 2 days of quote unquote freedom, and all he did was have his wedding and not even get to step out of the thing before Matt put him back in prison. But with this, and so it was basically just Matt like just taking him on, and that is a bit more like impactful for me, like on just an emotional scale. It's much like a smaller thing, but this was like the entire city just being fully against him finally. And I had trouble for a while being like, how is he back again as mayor? But honestly, I really think I honestly think it makes sense. Like that was 10 years ago. The snap has happened. Half of the population died for half a decade. Like people are not thinking about it. And they mentioned in the show, like New Yorkers are quick to forget. And obviously we have our president is living proof of being able to get away with things like that. And
you can be a criminal and still be you can be whatever it is. You can be convicted a criminal, but also and be a convicted a felon, but also be certified as the president of the United States is the new terminology being used.
Yeah, for whatever reason. But anyway, I love this scale. Just all of them running at him and him just fully like where he's just sitting on top, just screaming like, I've given you everything. Because that is true in his own psyche. Like he just does it all for New York. He loves the city the same way, not the same way Matt does, but the same motive that Matt has. And he lost everything. He lost his wife, and it's all because of the fight with Matt, which they talk about in episode 6. So Matt just goes up to him. He's like, it's over for both of us. Just give in. And they call back to the first conversation they had in the show in the diner, where Matt's like, I was raised to believe in grace, but I was also raised to believe in retribution. And so he says, so this is your so-called retribution? It means nothing to me. Because like Matt says, he could just go back to prison. He's just pissed, just feel off pure anger, and then just get back and keep fighting. Like, just continue the cycle. Like, this doesn't matter. I don't care. But Matt's like, we have to end the cycle. We're both cooked. Matt knows he's going to jail. And he's like, he tells Fisk that you either go to prison, we repeat it again, more people die, or you leave. And Fisk's exile is the worst fate for that character without Vanessa, because his whole life is New York. The only thing he cares about, New York and Vanessa. And Vanessa died, his fault, and her fault. She sucked too. But Vanessa dies, his fault, and the city hates him. He has literally nothing. He is alone on that island with nothing. And I know he'll be back in season 3, but I'll be honest, if that was the last time we ever saw Kingpin, that would be perfect. So I hope he's not the main villain, but we'll see. We'll talk about season 3
honestly,
in our setup video, but
I was kind of hoping. I don't like when they reveal the cat. I think it's stupid when they reveal the cast.
I would have. Yeah, I would. I thought that
now I know that Kingpin's not going to die, and that
because I thought there was a
going to be
chance
back
that
again.
Kingpin would have died like in the entire like finale if I was waiting for that. Like I would have been like there was a moment where I was like, is Fisk going to die? And I was like, no, wait. I saw a set photo last week. He's not going to die.
Yeah,
but that isn't just the perfect ending for Fisk. Even worse than season 3, because season 3 just goes back to jail, repeat. But in this, he has nothing. He doesn't have New York. He's not allowed. The city doesn't want to bother with him. They don't want him in prison. They just want him gone. They just want him out. And like it is sad because that character is empathetic, but it's also
it's just so well written because you shouldn't feel bad for him, but they force you to feel bad for him by just being so like complex. I don't know, like they give you good motivations, or like they give you good backstory that makes you feel for him as a person. And Matt as a character, being the main character, also makes you feel for him as a human being.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like you were spending so much time with Matt Murdock that you start to kind of like adopt the same empathy and love that he shows by like showing mercy. So like you feel that and it rubs off on you. And then I think like that's what leads to us like feeling bad for Kingpin, even though it's like there's no reason to feel bad for him.
Yeah, definitely. And that interaction, just like the "What about Grace," referencing that first conversation they had, just such a perfect full circle moment of Matt's original intent being just continue the fight, like always, and then at the end being like the only way to get over it is with Grace. Just the I'll let you go, and you can get out of here because no one likes you. And yeah, so Matt, the courtroom scene, Matt revealing his thoughts to the public or his identity to the public. What do you think about that? The whole courtroom scene, honestly.
The courtroom scene was really good. I liked seeing the back and forth. I think the exact moment when he reveals that he's Daredevil feels very MCU-y, and I didn't actually like that moment. I thought the score kind of fell flat there. He kind of just said, "I'm Daredevil," and then it was like it almost felt like an awkward silence moment. Whenever
people immediately started yelling and cameras went off.
But like what? Like there should have been a
the score.
Yeah, the score should have done something there that I think made that moment feel like hit a little bit less hard. But I thought, obviously, like in writing that moment was awesome. Just like him setting it up and him like Fisk believing that like him revealing Daredevil's identity is like going to ruin his life. But like Daredevil doesn't care if he gets his life ruined. And like the moment when Fisk just talks under his breath because he knows like that Matt can hear him. So good.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Also really good. We got a really healthy and like I say healthy, there's no such thing as like a lethal dose of Bullseye, but we got a good dose of Bullseye. Really well shot moment when he's throwing his knives.
Yeah,
and the camera goes under. It's like that's perfect.
Yeah.
And then the wrong Bullseye moment, like so good for every character involved. It's impossible not to love Bullseye as a Daredevil fan. Like he's just the most fun character to watch on screen.
Yeah. And he goes off with Mr. Charles to be the new agent. So perfect setup for a Bullseye special presentation. Like they can do whatever with that character. Because he's confirmed for season 3, which is honestly weird because that's back in New York, but maybe part of his scenes take place, because he is such a main character that you can have scenes of Dex in a different country and it's still integral to the Daredevil plot. But he could also get his own special presentation, which I think after this season they'll definitely lean into that. But yeah, the courtroom scene was amazing. Basically turning Karen Page's trial into getting fit, like indicting Fisk and proving that he's Daredevil, building the entire case of like what happened on the Northern Star. There's only one witness, it's Daredevil. Okay, I'm here. Get Fisk out. And also saving Karen, which is really good. And I just love the courtroom stuff. It really feels like the old show. And usually in the old show, Foggy was carrying the Nelson and Murdoch company or whatever. Like Foggy was way better lawyer. Matt was usually like being really shitty and not showing up, beating people up instead. So it was good to see Matt like absolutely cook in the courtroom scene. I loved it. And I thought it was really funny when he showed up to Heather and Heather just like stared at him. He didn't say a single word to Heather. Like, she sucks. Her. But now she's going to be Muse, which is very interesting.
That's going to be interesting,
Yeah, because I don't know what her and Buck are going to do. Like, what do they do? Like, what's Buck going to do? Bodyguard Fisk on a random island? Like, no. He's in season 3.
I don't know what Buck's plan. I don't know what their plan with Buck is.
Yeah, I really like that character, though. Like, him jumping in front of the bullet for Fisk. Like, everyone takes bullets for Fisk from Dex. Like, every time someone stops Dex from killing him, like, Dex is probably so mad at this point. But
yeah,
I just love Buck so much. I was kind of like rooting for him. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. But I don't think he had a single line in that episode, which is fine because last episode he had a lot to do. Yeah, but he had a lot to do last episode, obviously, with killing Daniel Blake, and BB taking over Ben Urich's role at the Bulletin, and being in the same office and having Ben Urich's writings there, and it showed the original writing from season 1. Like, she pulled Ben Urich's newspaper out. That was amazing, and her being the one to bring Fisk down, like, or to actually like start the revolution, like the revolt with her video, was really impactful. Like, that scene was just great.
Truly, yeah. I feel like every character that they introduced got a really good arc because of season 2, except for Cherry.
Yeah. Okay.
No one likes Cherry though. He's such a throwaway character. No one cares about him.
Yeah, Cherry is lame. Cherry should. The most heinous thing that Dex has ever done was saving Cherry and killing him.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing he ever did. And he was taking lines from my boy Mahoney, bro. Like, they all pulled up, and Mahoney should have been in the front saying all that stuff to Officer Powell and Cole North, and instead it was just Cherry. And it's like, bro, I don't like you. I still don't like you. Like, he's really not bad in this season, but he was just so annoying in the first season, and the community just collectively hated him so much that I just can't stand him. Like, I just love Mahoney. Also, Mahoney looks the exact same age, like 10 years later. He looks identical to how he did in season 1.
Yeah.
I say that. Yeah.
I know what you're thinking, though.
Yeah, I figured you do. But, yeah, really good. And Officer Powell lives to see another day. I'm pissed, but also I'm kind of not, because that gives Matt someone in prison to just beat up and have to antagonize him and be, it's just an antagonist in the next season. And yeah, the AVTF all going to prison at the end was amazing. And we can only hope we'll get that ending in real life with a certain group of people doing stuff.
Is Scorpion also in that prison? And Vulture?
Yeah. Well, Vulture's in Morbius timeline. He got.
Oh my god!
they just cooked Michael Keaton like permanently, just stuck him in a different timeline. Now they can't.
Is that even like? Are they? Why is Sony allowed to like make that stupid canon a part of MCU now? Like, that's so. Oh, I guess it's their character, but.
Yeah, I genuinely have no idea. I killed my dog. Yeah, I don't know, but Scorpion is in there, and I mean, Matt's in the same prison as No Way Home. Not that Peter cares or his intent would be to break Matt out, but the hand being in the same prison as Matt, like Matt's not going to be in the same prison as the Hand, and they're not going to interact. Like, I really hope so. But
yeah, Charlie Cox isn't like. Sorry, bro. Like you're not hiding it. Well, like he is hiding it well, but there's nothing you can do. Like we know
after
that.
No Way Home with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire,
yeah.
like there's just nothing you can do. It's very obvious whether or not I will kill my dog. It's really obvious, like when they're lying, I think, and I really hope he's in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or in the movie.
He's in the movie, yeah.
Oh my god. 3 minutes.
Pause. Oh, it's perfect time. Wait, no, it's not.
I mean, I'll just cut it. I'm gonna go get him. All right. We had to cut for a second because the dogs are being really annoying. Anyway, the Fisk hallway scene happening at the same time as Matt's hallway scene with Jessica and White Tiger. That reflection was really sick, and I love just Fisk getting his own hallway scene, and he was like clearing them. It's literally the 100 men versus one gorilla, and that made me kind of rethink my stance on that, because I've always been on the 100 men side, but seeing that like depicted, because like you all just have to jump them at the same time, and it only ever worked at the ending because they were able to like plan the attack. But whenever Fisk is just walking out and he just knows he has nothing left because he declined the offer, he's like, just open the door, and then he did the little boo, and then he just smacks him, crushes that guy's skull. I mean, anyway, it was sick. I loved it. So yeah, any last thoughts on the finale?
Not really. Just a great finale, great way to wrap it up. Loved seeing the fullness of Fisk in his strength. Love to see whenever Fisk dominates on an intellectual level, but also is just so imposing physically. It adds such a good, because usually it's like the main part of the character is their strength, and then the secondary part you know about is like their whatever else. But Fisk he's like best at his manipulation, but but his strength is secondary, but is so like notable in a way that like really furthers his character as a villain. I really like it.
Yeah.
So I love seeing that. But yeah, great way to wrap up that a great season it's been.
Yeah, great season. We'll have a full season review coming in a couple days, but that was a finale review.
Yeah.